You know, this is weird to say, but folks, this is the finale episode of Rhodes to the Top. I had no idea that they were only going to do 6 episodes, and the fact that one night they actually premiered 2 episodes on the same night, so like they really rushed through this. But I don't know, for whatever reason they did so. Yeah, this is the final episode of season 1 of Rhodes to the Top, episode 6, titled Crossroads. Now, this episode was interesting. Baby Liberty's finally here, so now parenting responsibilities is on full deck, and decisions have to be made. But ultimately, beyond that, they're thinking about their professional life. Cody's still doing his thing, but Brandi returning to the ring. And yes, that means both physically and both the gimmick has to be prepared. So yeah, I give her props. She's been working her ass off for 6 weeks. She lost 35 pounds. She's been training with QT Marshall. She said that the ring still hurts, but she's working through it and whatnot. She's very honest about it. But when it came down to Cody and her having a conversation about how she's going to return, they didn't quite agree. And this is where the drama kind of comes into play for me here, because like she wants to come back as a heel, as she basically quoted. She said, "I'm gonna give them the bitch they want." Cody's like, "I think the fans will get more behind you if you come out as a babyface and you work your way from the bottom." But she said she's never been that, so she'll never do it. What's interesting to me is that everything that Cody is saying seems to be a reflection of what he would say to himself. So I feel like it's a honest notion that he's making, but I don't think that it means it applies for her or what her vision is, because he's been very adamant that he would never be a heel. But it also isn't working for him right now being a babyface. And where Brandi's saying it won't work for me being a babyface, it works for me being a heel. So interesting that they kind of had that sort of and the whole episode to me was about self-reflection. So it's interesting that was a take that they had going on here between the two of them. Also interesting that I didn't know that you could eat the placenta. You can get it in the pill form, so that's what Brandi did. So yeah, didn't know that. Interesting. But beyond that, Cody now, who's been wrestling and with Baby Liberty here, he's still currently and actively wrestling, where he has his next big feud against Malakai Black, formerly known as Aleister Black, who is known as Tommy N, a former WWE wrestler now making his debut in AEW, and his first feud is against Cody Rhodes. Here's the thing. Cody has been on a swirling downfall of his disapproval from the fans. The fans have been booing him, and this is not something he's been accustomed to. So this is truly hurting his feelings, because he's been emotional this entire episode. Very somber in his interview moments of this, because it's bothering him, because he's never been in these waters before. But with AEW fans, which he should know, and I'm pretty sure he knows now, is that AEW is taking towards the new shiny toy. New signee. We're absolutely happy that they're here. We're going to make sure that we show them that we appreciate them being here, because AEW fans some of them are anti-WWE fans. So the fact that he left WWE to come to AEW, that's definitely like a yes, he's our hero. But beyond that, he's an established commodity. So like there's a lot of reasons to cheer for this guy, and also when you think about his departure from WWE, like you kind of want to root for him regardless. So it just wasn't the right decision for Cody to have that expectations that he will be cheered against this person, although this person's working as a heel. It just didn't make sense. But what was interesting about this is that Malakai Black comes back after the match and says over to Cody's brother and said that your brother made me and I won't forget that. Okay, so I don't agree under no circumstance with that statement. Like, he's already been an established commodity. He's a hot talent. He's a fantastic wrestler. The gimmick works. He's a new shiny toy. Everything that got him those cheers for the night is because of who he is. Now, I do say that Cody absolutely put him over and gave him the best babyface treatment ever. Ever. But I wouldn't go as far as saying he made him. Like, I think that's a way exaggeration of a statement there. But whatever. Humble guy saying a nice thing. I give him his props for that. But the problems before that match even happened had nothing to do with with the match itself. It's just the fans just haven't been liking Cody right now. He's always been at the top. So, you know, when a new shiny toy comes about, everybody grabs towards that. So, and as more and more talent has come since this moment, it's been the same thing. So hopefully now Cody understands that. So that's that. But yeah, he's been truly emotional this entire episode. Like, you know, the disapproval of the fans, semi-retiring, I guess maybe even a conflict with Brandi if you want to ask that. And yeah, but ultimately he took 2 months off so he can go home and be with baby Liberty, which he will return to New York to face Malakai Black in another match, which in this time away, Cody did the right thing. So it gave him a brand new perspective about everything, because before this, pun intended, he was in a crossroads of his life and his profession. So he didn't know what he was going to do. That's why he kind of retired and didn't know about how the return was going to happen and whatnot. But yeah, with all that time at home, I guess he, you know, not only the new perspective, but a lot of self-reflection. So that's that. But ultimately, you know, Brandi's whole role was trying to get back into the ring, make sure she wasn't forgotten, and it worked for her. She got cheered. Cody can't say the same. So, you know, it's just something he had to just worry about. And you know, maybe season 2 he'll address how he has to make the change in order to get back on the approval side of the fans. But hey, my advice is don't go against the new shiny toy, because folks are always going to go with that. You know, it's just like Toy Story. When Buzz came, they didn't like Woody. He also compared himself to this recently. So, you know, I think he might be getting this. But I think going into season 2, things are going to be more current, and maybe there will be more of a connection to the current product of AEW and what's happening on Rhodes to the Top. So that should be interesting to see. But overall, folks, I want you to tell me, did you enjoy season 1 of Rhodes to the Top? Did you watch it? What would you like to see different in season 2? I think everybody wants more drama. I think that's really what everybody wants. But I do appreciate the behind the scene perspective of the wrestlers, the talent, and how AEW works. And then obviously the relationship between Brandi and Cody, getting a glimpse into their personal life and seeing, you know, how they operate, being part of the AEW brand, now being parents with baby Liberty, and how this thing go forward. So, you know, we'll see. But I know one thing, Cody, man, his emotions, man, he gonna have to go ahead and get some therapy, man, because he really looked shook this entire episode and bothered. And, you know, maybe it's the idea of being a new dad and having to live up to those expectations. Maybe it's because of the wrestling thing isn't going the way that he wanted it to go initially. I don't know. Oh, and I gotta say, oddly enough, the Young Bucks are blurred out in this. I don't know if I noticed it before, but for them to have like position within a company, I would think they will be full on board with being a shown talent and personality on the show. I mean, they're no stranger to TV. They've been on Dark Side of the Ring, so thought that was interesting. I don't know how deep to look into that, but that was very interesting that they show one of the Young Bucks blurred out, and I don't know. But yeah, folks, jump in the comments. Let me know your thoughts about this season, these 6 episodes of a season. And I'll be back for season 2 whenever it returns very soon.